Okay, let's discuss how to send paperless forms to patients or to add them to their queue. So there's three important things that you need to remember, or three different ways that we can send forms to patients. So one of the first ways, this is going to be the longest way to do it manually. So when you're in paperless forms and you go to all sections, these are all the forms in your database, right? So one of the first things I could do is say, okay, I want to send this form and this form, and maybe I'll search for this and I'll send this form. And then I'm going to hit the action button, send these to patient, and then it's going to show the patients that are on today's schedule first, or I can search and find a different patient's name. So that's going to be the longest way to go about it. If I can do SMS or email, and then I can check those off and then hit the send button, or I can hit copy link. If I hit copy link, so I'll do that for Raymond Blanc, and you'll see, we'll show you how it's added to the queue. So I'll go here, and then those forms have been added to the queue here, but they haven't been sent. Where if I were to hit send via SMS or email, it will send it to him rather than just adding it to the queue. So if I hit copy link, or if I add forms from the patient profile, that'll just add it to the queue without sending it to them. So that's going to be the longest way to send forms. The next way would be to utilize form groups. So form groups is basically a way to organize forms so that it's easier to send. So whatever forms you want to send to new patients, you can create a form group by clicking Add New. And when you add it, you'll create the name of that group, and then you can add forms to that group. So you can go to all sections, select the forms that you want to go in that group, and click Add to Group. So this is like an example of all the forms that I would want to send to new patients. These 8 forms. So that way I can go to this form group, hit select all, action, send these to patient, and now I can send all of my new patient forms in just a few short clicks, rather than having to search each one and click it and reorder it and all of that fun stuff. I recommend having form groups for all of your common procedures as well. So return patient forms, any other consent forms. So, you might need some forms for sedation, extraction, bone graft, whatever your common procedures are, add those to different groups so that you can just immediately go and they're all organized and you can send them to the patient based on what type of treatment they're going to get. The other thing that I'm thinking about, so that's another manual way of sending forms. Any existing patient that is in Open Dental already, before you've turned on any automations, has to be sent forms manually. So if you got Casper and you already have a bunch of existing patients, this is going to be the easiest way to add them to the queue. The next way to send patients forms is with the automation. The automation button is right here. So I'm going to click it, Automations. And this is going to be any form that you want sent to new patients. You'll add them in here. So I want the patient information form, medical info, dental history, and my HIPAA and cancellation policy, all of that fun stuff. And then I can turn it on. And now any new patient created in Open Dental, whether it's through online scheduling or they created an appointment, like they called and created an appointment, any new patient created is going to be assigned these forms for them to fill out. The return patient automation is going to be any forms that were filled out in the past. You can have them fill them out again at a certain queue. So you don't have to remember, or look up, has it been 6 months or has it been a year since they have updated their health history? You don't have to check that. Casper's going to check the date of when the form was filled out previously. If it's been over 6 months, according to this, then it will add it to their queue again, and at their next appointment, they'll be prompted to fill out the forms. The nice part is the forms will arrive filled out with what they filled out previously. So if they've already added their medications and their allergies and all of that, it's already going to be in there. And if there's any changes, they can make those changes, sign it, and date it. So filling out return patient forms is going to be a lot simpler than filling out those blank forms. So you turn those on. And boom, your automations are done. So just keep in mind, this is for new patients created after the automation is turned on only. So if you have existing patients in Open Dental before this has been enabled, you're going to need to assign those forms manually. But once they're assigned those forms manually and have filled them out, they're going to be entered into the return patient automation. So if you manually assign the medical history form, they fill it out, then in 6 months, they'll be prompted to fill it out again before their next appointment. So that covers the automations, and we will cover iPad next.